So, Venezuela got worse this week. I know why you guys come to this channel, and rest assured, you're going to get it. As with everything else in U.S. foreign policy, my position is that Washington, D.C. is screwing this up and screwing it up terribly. But can we take a moment to appreciate what a crappy president Nicolas Maduro is? For almost 20 years now, the brand of the Venezuelan government has been sticking it to the United States. This is a perfectly valid approach politically, and it wins votes in Latin America for some very good historical reasons. But if you're going to do this, you should be prepared for some pushback. You should be especially prepared if your main industry is selling petrochemicals to the country you are antagonizing. As I have alluded to elsewhere, the U.S. has used its full battery of dirty tricks against Venezuela's usually democratically elected government. Attempted coups, sanctions, and most importantly, the U.S.'s dominant legal and financial position in the world and region have all been used against Venezuela. But this toolbox is used against other countries too. Chavez and Maduro have managed to let the U.S. drive their country into the ground extraordinarily quickly. For 40 years now, the United States has been using the same range of tools against Iran, and much more extreme ones as well. Iran is not, doing awesome, but they are certainly doing a much better job of keeping the United States out of their country and out of their region than Maduro is. And Iran is doing it with the same vulnerability to the oil price that Venezuela has. Closer to home, Cuba has been defying the U.S. Colossus for a full 60 years now. And Bolivia's Evo Morales managed to come to power at around the same time as Chavez with the same political focus and a lot of the same policies and make Bolivia richer, happier, and more secure. Nicolas Maduro and Hugo Chavez before him are just bad at this. They picked a fight with the United States and they lost, even though oil prices were at record highs for most of their time in power. Nicolas Maduro really is one of the world's worst presidents, which makes him very lucky to have Donald Trump. Over the past 2 years, Maduro's failure has fully discredited every cause he has supported. Venezuelans are literally starving and fleeing the country. But whenever Maduro starts looking wobbly, folks like Donald Trump or John Bolton step in to make him look like the good guy. Now, from the perspective of the United States or one of our European vassals, that's not what this looks like. But you have to consider the history of the Americas again. All the U.S. has to do for Maduro to fall at this point is step back and wait. And that's been true for a couple years now. Instead, Washington, D.C. insists on playing the perfect comic book villain role that Latin American leftists fantasize about. And there are a lot of leftists in Latin America. Trump has turned this clown Maduro into a hero. He has repeatedly suggested invading Venezuela and has somehow convinced a lot of Washington, D.C. that that might be a good idea. Over the past week alone, Donald Trump has turned Venezuela policy over to one of Ronald Reagan's nastiest Cold Warriors and gone ahead and discredited the Venezuelan opposition by making it look like a pawn of the United States. And don't get me started on Mike Pompeo's choice to use State Department employees as Benghazi bait to start a shooting war. These clowns have managed to make the guy who laughs about starving his own country look like the victim. At this point, the Trump administration is probably the main thing keeping Maduro going. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And you can learn about the much more devious and effective ways the United States has undermined Venezuela in my other video on the country. Thanks.